Welcome everyone to today's presentation. My name is Kelly Williamson and I'm the Community Manager here at the SUNY Center for Professional Development. I'm very excited to present today's group and our topic, which is Understanding SUNY's IR Dashboards, which IR stands for Institutional Research. And I'm going to welcome Teresa Foster, Associate Provost for Institutional Research and Data Analytics, Santiago Guerrero, Associate for University Planning and Analysis, and Josh Horn, Director of University Planning and Analysis. This is a great topic for us, and it's a first destination for many of us, and hopefully we'll learn a few things today. I already introduced myself, but if you see me on Workplace, which is my main role here at the CPD, if you have any questions or you have topics for 2020, I think we're going to hold this again in March and then again in the fall. Please reach out to me. There's my email and topic suggestions and anything to do with Workplace. I'm your person. If you're just joining us and you might not be able to hear us, or it might be a little muffled or something going on, you'll see that you can join audio by computer. You can also see that little button on the right-hand side. If you have a microphone / headset or speakers, this will work great for you. You are all muted, so there's no need to worry about that. However, if you're having problems hearing us, go back to the email and dial in with the phone so you can get the full experience. This is being recorded, so if you miss a little bit or have to leave, don't worry, we'll be sharing it next week. Also, because you're muted, we'd like all questions to go to the chat box. So you'll see the chat bubble to the right side of the share screen on the bottom of the control panel. Anything at all, if it fits in at the time, Teresa is going to be monitoring the chat as well as myself. We might interrupt to go over that question. If not, we'll save it until the end and we'll hopefully be able to address it for you. Just a little note about what we're doing. If you've been on the other webinars this week, you've already heard this a bunch of times, but it's a Professional Development Week is an awareness campaign that's highlighting the important connections between us as staff members, as professionals, and as people. You know, we basically want to connect lifelong learning and personal growth with the transformative organizational success of SUNY and beyond. If you've never been to our facility or aren't aware of us, please check us out at our website. We also have a partner organization, SUNY SAIL, which focuses more on executive leadership. So check us both out, look at our calendars, and see what we're about. We've been around since the 80s, which so have I, and I've said that joke a bunch already this week, so I apologize. But we have evolved into the central resource for professional development training and support for not only our member campuses, but the entire SUNY community. So if you're looking for more programming like this, or you want to focus more on maybe the BI, business intelligence, we have courses like that for you already. So reach out and ask. So again, if you just joined us, today's presentation is regarding institutional research and our SUNY dashboards, and I'm going to stop my share and allow our panelists and speakers to get acclimated here. So thank you and welcome.
Hi folks, this is Teresa, and first of all I want to thank Kelly for reaching out and inviting us to do this presentation, because we really enjoy sharing these tools with campus folks and getting word out there about them. So we're going to go through, Josh Horn and Santiago Guerrero are going to go through some tools that are available for you. And I did want to note right at the beginning that we've been working hard to build out our website to put more data resources out there so that you have one place that you know that you can go to get some fast and easy user-friendly data tools. And I will acknowledge Paul Wilner, who is here with us too from our staff. Say hi, Paul.
Hello, everyone.
So these guys have done a really great job building out these tools, and I'm going to hand it over to Josh now, who will introduce himself and get us started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for attending today's session. My name is Josh Horn. I've been here with System Administration in the IR office for a little over 4 years now. Prior to that, I served as Director of Admissions at Columbia Green Community College, and I'll just flip it over to Santiago to quickly introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Santiago Guerrero. I started at the same time as Josh here. I've been like 4 years. I'm an associate for University Planning and Analysis. And yeah, I work mostly with the TOL data that I'm going to show you at the end. question.
And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with today's presentation. So first, just to be very clear as far as what our goals and the agenda are for today's presentation, first and foremost, we just want to make everyone aware of the data and dashboards available through system administration that may help you in your roles at your campus. As far as our agenda that we're running through, first we want to give you some background information in terms of how we actually get data here at system administration from campuses and other data sources that we use. Also, what's the benefit to the campus of having all this data collected at a central system location? We're then going to talk about SUNY Business Intelligence and what data are available to campuses to query through our dashboards, and then some other, then we'll go through some actual dashboard examples, and Santiago will talk about some of the public-facing Tableau dashboards that he has created. And then we'll wrap up with some takeaways before opening it up in the last 10 minutes for some questions. So first, let's talk about how we get data here at System Administration. So Cirrus is the SUNY Institutional Research Data System, and it is the primary way we acquire data from our campuses. Cirrus was developed in 2008 to primarily accommodate aggregate level reporting to meet New York State survey requirements and federal reporting requirements such as IPEDS. Cirrus has been updated many times since 2008, some updates being very minor, some updates being major, to accommodate changes to federal and state reporting requirements. We've also implemented some changes to capture data on new initiatives, policies, or student groups, so we can create aggregate system level reports and analyses to help guide decision making. These reports are used to inform senior leadership, also to inform the board of trustees here at the system level. It's important to note that although Cirrus was designed to report in the aggregate, we collect data at the unit record level. Before the data is available to run various queries, the data goes through 3 stages, and I think it's important to note those stages. So the first stage, data is inputted into the campus information systems, which it should be noted that all campuses operate, not all campuses operate on the same system. We have some campuses on Banner, PeopleSoft, DataTel, and homegrown systems. Then the data is uploaded to system administration through DTS, which is a secure data transfer system where the data is cleaned using various business rules and reviewed by system IR before the data is approved and loaded into the SUNY data warehouse, where it can then be queried using Oracle Business Intelligence. In the data warehouse, we have student and degree data dating back to 2002 and some section data dating back to 2010. So we're going to talk about a little bit more about the Cirrus submissions on the next slide. So we collect many Cirrus submissions from each campus over the course of the academic year, and each have a different purpose and due date. You can see some of the different submission types on this slide here and what is collected in each submission. It's important to remember that Cirrus submissions are snapshots in time. In your campus student information system, data is often changing. For example, students can change majors in a given semester. They can change from full-time to part-time status. When we collect data from the campuses, it is at a particular point in time, so the data is static at that point. The benefit to this is that it allows campuses and system administration to conduct trend analyses where they're comparing apples to apples. So fall 2018 data compared to fall 2019 data at the same point in time. So to give you an idea of what's collected in each submission, in our student submissions, which are collected at the beginning or the midpoint of the fall and the spring terms, and then the student submission is also collected at the end of each term. Within the student submission, there is student ID, demographic information, academic program information, higher education history, so whether the student is a first-time undergraduate student, a continuing undergraduate student, any special population indicators. So all relevant student information really comes in on that student submission. We then have a term section submission, which is collected at the end of all terms, fall, spring, winter, if applicable, and the summer term, if applicable. The term section submission collects everything on the section level. It also includes information on the number of the grades that students receive in courses, and course locations, instructor information. Our degree submission is collected twice per year. It is collected in September and in December. The degree submission includes information on type of program level, award IDs, also the type of degree earned. That all comes in on the degree submission. We also have a student revenue submission, which is essentially things students pay for, parking tickets, tuition, technology fees. That's collected once per year. We have our financial aid submission, which is also collected once per year. It collects information on Pell Grants, state grants, FAFSA information, Excelsior information. We also have the student information survey. This was a survey created that was implemented as a request from the Board of Trustees to collect information on gender identity, sexual orientation, employment status. This is collected for the fall and the spring semester. This data is highly sensitive. This data is not available to the campuses, but it is data that we have here at System Administration.
So overall, these submissions, we collect around more than 1,000 submissions a year when you count all the different submissions on campus.
So let's talk about what the benefit to collecting all these 1,000 submissions is to the campus. So all the Cirrus data we collect, all the academic program information collected through APES, which is the Academic Programs Enterprise System, and all the transfer and completion data we collect through the National Student Clearinghouse is all loaded into the data warehouse. And approved campus representatives have access to these data through SUNY BI, which is SUNY Business Intelligence or Oracle Business Intelligence. You'll hear many different acronyms used to describe Oracle Business Intelligence, OBI, BI, Business Intelligence. It's all referring to the same data analytics tool. You have the ability to run analyses on just your campus through SUNY BI. You can compare your campus to your sector or compare your campus to all other campuses in the system. We have many dashboards that have been already created for campuses because there are common areas that the campuses consistently want to analyze, such as graduation rates, retention rates, enrollment. But if there is a particular area of interest that isn't available in a pre-made dashboard, you also have the ability to create a custom query if you attend a SUNY BI training session, where you can bring in almost any data element collected through Cirrus. And this truly opens up a limitless number of data query possibilities. One really nice thing about SUNY BI is that it's very user-friendly. It's point and click. It's drag and drop. You can conduct pivot tables in BI. You can export your files to Excel if you want to do further analyses. And we plan on showing you these dashboards and how to use them in a little bit. Generally, and this is really important to know, who has access to this on your campus. So generally, all IR folks have access to SUNY BI, but you also have other people on your campus who probably have access as well. If they attended a SUNY BI training, they will have access, particularly at a lot of campuses. Your IT offices will have access. So just to give you an idea as far as who has access on your campus, and then at the end, we will talk about how you can get access yourself if it's something that you're interested in and you really want to dive into the data yourself. So let's talk about what's actually available through SUNY Business Intelligence. So there are various data stars that are available through SUNY BI. We have a degree data star, we have a student enrollment data star, we have a financial aid data star, we have an educational outcomes data star that has our graduation rates in it, our transfer information. we don't have time to go through each one of these data stars and what's available, so we're going to focus on the student enrollment star. This is probably around 70% of the queries that we run in our office pertain to the student enrollment data star. So some of the things, each query starts with a time. So the time, what we generally use is term. We focus on fall terms primarily, but you also can run queries based on academic year. There are some complications when running queries on academic year because you do run into some duplication issues at times. When students change in a particular year, for example, full-time to part-time, or their higher education history changes from a first-time student to a continuing student. So that is something to watch out for if you're doing any queries on academic year. We also have campus information, not just campus name, but sector, if you wanted to run queries by sectors. Also, we have gender. We go by federal reporting standards, so we have, right now it's just male, female. We have age available, age brackets, and different age groups. We have a number of different race ethnicity categories. We have ethnic origin, where Hispanic and Latino categories are broken out. We have race, where Hispanic and Latino are not broken out. We have IPEDS race ethnicity, which is in accordance to the federal reporting requirements. Then we have SUNY race ethnicity, which breaks out students who identify as 2 or more races into 2 separate categories, one being underrepresented minority multiracial, and then we have non-underrepresented minority multiracial. We have a underrepresented minority indicator that just signals yes, no, and does those calculations because we've noticed a lot of campuses and system administration alike, we're using this quite a bit in their analyses. We have citizenship residency description, whether the student is from New York State, out of state, international, the number of credits that a student is taking, whether a student is on campus or off campus, full or part-time, financial aid information like Pell and TAP. So you can read through this list. There's a lot of data available through a student enrollment star. And we do, as I talked about, we have dashboards already created based on campus's primary areas of interest in terms of conducting analyses. So some of the available dashboards that are very common, we're going to run through some of these today, is the enrollment dashboard, the retention dashboard, the graduation rates dashboard, which pulls from the educational outcomes star, the degrees dashboard with all degree information, which pulls from the degree star, our educational outcomes dashboard, which really focuses on not just whether the student graduated, but whether the student maybe transferred on without a degree, but then earned a degree elsewhere. And we have many, many more dashboards and more being created by the day. So there's a lot there. Within most dashboards, you can drill down, you can add other elements, you can sort and filter items. So we're gonna run through that today with some examples. But then again, if there's ever something not available in a pre-made dashboard, if you attend a BI training, there is custom query options where you can alter, really alter and add new elements to each dashboard that's already created. So we're going to run through some dashboard examples now. First and foremost, you need to know how to get to SUNY BI and the dashboards. So the website to get to the dashboards and to the BI analytics tool is www.suny.edu/analytics. You'll see in the top right-hand corner, there's that little drop down that's circled that says dashboards. By clicking on that arrow, and we're just going to go to the next slide here. By clicking on that arrow, it opens up a whole list of different folders and gives you different options in terms of the dashboards that you can access. So you can see the different folders. There is one folder entitled course with all course information. You have the degree folder, and you can see the degree dashboard underneath that. You have the enrollment folder underneath the degree folder. We're going to spend some time in that, show you an enrollment dashboard and how to use it. A little bit further up, you'd have your educational outcomes dashboard. So by clicking on that drop down, and you go into each one of these, there's various dashboards that do open up. Okay. So the first dashboard, and we're going to go through each one of these. I'm going to bring you to the actual site, but just to give you a quick overview, the three dashboards that we're going to show you. The first one is the enrollment dashboard. The next dashboard that I'm going to show you is the retention rate dashboard. And then finally, we're going to talk about the graduation rate dashboard. And we're going to just bear with us one moment as we jump over to the BI screen. Okay. And just to refresh. Okay. So within each dashboard, there are filters at the top, drop-down menus where you can select term, for example, gender, in order to get the analysis that you're looking for. So we just finished our fall 2019 student collection, so the data is up to date at this point. So for example, to show you how these dashboards work, what you could do is select fall 2019. Let's say you are only interested in first-time undergraduate student enrollment. You can come over to higher education history, click undergraduate first time. Particularly, you're interested in just your full-time students. Then you could come over to the apply, click, and you'll always get a spinning wheel, but then your data will update. And you can see the selections that you made in the filter below. Term is equal to fall 2019. Your status is full-time. You're selecting only undergraduate first time. And we also, you can see this is broken out by gender. If you wanted to change gender and conduct this query by race and ethnicity, you could do that. You could do it also by age. You could also change exclude columns or include columns. So for example, if you wanted to include campus name, you hover over the top of a column, right click, and you can actually include column or include other columns that are hidden in the particular query. Another nice feature to BI is you can actually run sorts. So you can sort data, sort descending, sort ascending, you can sort alphabetical order, you can also move. So let's say you wanted this particular data set in alpha order, you could hover over the top of the column, drag it over, and it should resort for you so that it is in alpha order. So it is very user-friendly. It is point and click. It is drag and drop. The more time that you spend in a particular dashboard, the more that you are familiar with moving columns and sorting and what's available. Now, this is the early enrollment dashboard. You can see there are multiple tabs within the early enrollment dashboard. There's one tab on just demographics. There's another tab on demographic trends. There's a tab on permanent residency. There's a tab on legislative districts, which are very important to certain campuses. So it's not just one dashboard or one view within each dashboard. There's multiple tabs showing multiple different views. So there's a lot to explore here. We'll go to another dashboard right now. We'll go to the cohort tracking folder. We can go to retention. This is a metric that a lot of campuses are interested in, making sure that they're retaining the students that they admit. So if you click on the all cohorts 1-year retention tab, and as this is moving over, you'll see in the introduction tab of each dashboard, it does provide an explanation as to what each dashboard does, what's available, so that you have a better idea of the data that you're looking at. Now, this dashboard automatically defaults to retention by SIP area. So let's say you weren't interested in retention by SIP area. You actually just wanted to look at just overall retention rates for undergraduate. This is selected undergraduate first-time, full-time students. What you can do, if you don't want to see the SIP area or the award, just hover over the top of the SIP area column, right-click. You can exclude that column, and it will take a moment, but it will condense the data and drill down and exclude the award column. So now you can see the overall retention rates by campus. And again, if you wanted to sort, you could sort, put the highest campus at the top, or you can, again, easily change the data, to appear in alpha order. Now, if you wanted to export data and export data to Excel or to a CSV and upload into SPSS, you can certainly do that. There's an export button at the bottom to each dashboard, so you can click on that and export it to Excel. If you are looking to analyze this data and create a custom query, at the bottom of each dashboard is an Analyze button. If you do not have the appropriate permissions and haven't attended a BI training, you will not have this Analyze button available. It will be either not appear or be grayed out. But if you do have access, you can click on this, and this is the area where you would be able to perform custom queries, add elements that are not included in the ribbon at the top, or elements that are hidden within the actual dashboard itself. I will show you just one more dashboard that we have, and you can see even within the retention dashboard there are multiple tabs here, but one other dashboard that I have time to show you today is the graduation rates dashboard. So if you click on the graduation rates dashboard, there are a number of tabs here. The first two tabs, graduation rate baccalaureate cohorts, and the second tab, graduation rate associate cohorts, are campus specific. So it's looking at just one particular campus, whereas the following two tabs have all campuses together in one dashboard. So to give you an idea of the single campus view, we'll click on this tab. And it defaults, for the baccalaureate cohorts tab, it defaults to 2006 as the initial cohort term. You can certainly change that. But this dashboard actually has various graphs, so it gives you a different view. It also breaks down graduation rates by gender, also by race ethnicity, IPEDS race ethnicity, high school, which could be interesting to some folks. We also, as I said, if you click over to the All Campuses tab, we have graduation rates for all campuses in one location. Again, we have some hidden information here as well, where you can include some other information such as gender or IPEDS race ethnicity. The biggest piece, or the biggest suggestion that I can give you all is just that there's a lot of dashboards that are already created. The goal here is to make, when you're given a question or asked a question on your campus, we want to let you know that there are these dashboards available here through SUNY System Administration. You know, we know that not every campus has all the resources to query data on a daily basis. These dashboards are meant to really help the campuses answer some of those questions where you need them in a timely, quick manner. So these dashboards are there. You know, we encourage you to investigate them, ask your IR folks on your campus about them and some of the uses that they see these dashboards being for your particular position. So Next, I'm going to turn it over to Santiago to talk about some of the public-facing Tableau dashboards that he has created.
Perfect. Thank you, Josh. So let's move back to the presentation. Okay. So yeah, as Josh said, Josh showed you all the different dashboards and all the data possibilities that are available for the SUNY employees. But we have taken a lot of the data that we receive, and we have made some dashboards that are available for the public. So you don't need to have some of these permissions. These dashboards that we created and that can show you have that data, include the data that some of the data that Josh talked about, but also some of those dashboards include other data that we get. For example, we can get data from the Department of Labor, and we also have some data from IPEDS, from the National Center of Education Statistics. For accessing these dashboards, these different dashboards, we suggest you can go through our webpage. So you can see there in the slide, our web page is system.suny.edu/institutional research. Yeah, and as Teresa mentioned at the beginning of our presentation, we are trying to constantly update these websites, so we have more and more tools available and more information for the public to access, and to be transparent about the data that we have. So once you go to that website, there's this option that is called data resources, and that's the one that I'm going to show you. But before moving to the live presentation, I'm going to show you like a quick overview of the dashboard that I'm going to show you. So first, there's a set of dashboards that are the fast facts, and all the information for the fast facts come from the series submissions that Josh mentioned. They are available in our fast facts webpage. I'll show you that. And all of them, I forgot to mention, all of our dashboards are designed with Tableau, which is a software that allows to visually present the data, but also allows you to drill down the data. So there's many filtering options, and there's more. You can do a lot, as I'm going to show you. You can do a lot to filter the data to see to find what you're looking for. So these are the SUNY fast facts. Then we have this other dashboard that we released earlier this year. That is the SUNY grad wages dashboard. That is with information from the New York State Department of Labor, and it's basically information about the wages that our students are earning after graduating from SUNY, and there's a lot of different options for users to filter. And this is available to the public. I'll show you how to access that. And finally, there's this other one that is IPEDS benchmarks. That is basically we are taking information from IPEDS. That is every campus that receives financial aid, federal financial aid, has to report to the feds. And so we have data for every campus that does that, and we combine all the data so that the users of the dashboard can compare their campus with not only with SUNY campus, but with all the campuses across the nation. And for this dashboard, we combine like eight different surveys of the IPEDS that IPEDS has for all the campuses. Okay, perfect. So now let's go to the web page. So let me see if I can do this out. You share. I'll go to this one and start from there. So yeah, so here's the website that I showed you first. So this is our IR website. So you click here, if you click here on data resources, it lists a series of data resources that we have made available. The ones that I said I wanted to show you are the SUNY fast facts. So let's click on the SUNY fast facts. So the SUNY fast facts include a series of dashboards. first, it includes like static information, but for each of these static information, there's a dashboard that you can access. For example, I'm gonna show you this one. So this is the detailed SUNY enrollment data. So if you click here, you can it opens a dashboard, Tableau dashboard. Let me see if I can figure out a way so you can see it better in the screen. Okay, so this is one of our SUNY dashboards, one of our dashboards from the fast facts. And basically with data that Josh mentioned about the fall enrollment, we built this dashboard to show like trends in enrollment, but by campus, by award level, by higher education history, but full-time, part-time status. So basically here, if you look at the top left of the dashboard, here is showing historical enrollment for SUNY total. Then that's the gray line. The light blue line is the community colleges, the historical enrollment, and the dark blue line is the state-operated historical enrollment. But as I said before, these dashboards built in Tableau are very interactive. So first you have the option up here to choose the campus. So once you choose any campus, it's gonna filter all the data and show you for the data for that campus. So here, for example, I selected Albany, and it showed me, it updated all the sheets to show the Albany data. But let's go back to all to show you other ways to filter the data that I think are more, work better. So for example, here, it's looking at all enrollment. But for example, if you only wanted to look at the baccalaureate enrollment, here you see that baccalaureate for 2018 represents 40% of total enrollment. So, but if you click here, then it filters all the data by baccalaureate enrollment. So here you see how and it makes sense, like most of the baccalaureate enrollment is from the state operated. The only one down here is FIT, that's a community college that has baccalaureate programs. So if you want to see the same thing for associates, then you can see the associates trend. And again, community colleges are the ones that have associates, and then here are the state-operated colleges. You also have the option to look, for example, as Josh mentioned, people are interested usually in first-time, full-time. So you can actually combine the two filters. So for example, you can put here full-time, and then click again here on first-time students. It's this one, undergraduate first-time. So now the data displaying is for undergraduate first-time students. And if you then want to see, okay, what about a particular campus? So you can click here on the back campus in the map of the campus. And for example, if you want to see any campus here. So then it shows that data for that campus. So as I said, it's like a very interactive way to look at the data. If you were asked to get like some quick facts, and that's what's called fast facts, you can get them from here. One thing that is to note is that the data that you get from BI and what Josh mentioned is generally more updated than this one. So for example, here the latest semester that I have is fall 2018, but we recently received fall 2019. So what we usually do is at the beginning of the next calendar year, it will be updated. That's what we've done in the past. So in fall, at the beginning of fall of 2019, we'll have this. So at the beginning of fall of 2020, we will have the fall 2019 data in this dashboard. While if you have access to the BI, you will have that data before. Let me see how much. Let me see one more dashboard here of the fast facts. The other one that I wanted to show you was the student residence data. So here, because I feel like this is something that might be of interest to, for many people that work on the campuses, knowing like what's the residence of the students. So here's basically showing what is the residence of all the students in SUNY for 2018. And again, there's many options to filter the data. So for example, if you want to see, I don't know, what's the residence of the Albany students? So it filters the data and shows like, it makes sense. Like most of the residents of the Albany students are mostly Albany. So that shows that. This same sheet, another thing that I wanted to show you is that sometimes you can see tabs up here in the dashboards, so you can see different tabs. So for example, here I'm seeing Albany. If I go here out of state only, let me change this briefly. Oh, sorry. Let me open it again. I had a problem. Okay, so here you can put out of state only. So it'll show you the enrollment in the US by state or international. It'll show you the enrollment, international enrollment. So yeah, here you. Anyway, that's data that's really that you. Hopefully you'll have fun. You can have fun playing with it. And again, you can also filter. All of this is filtered. So if you want just to see baccalaureates, you click here, and everything is filtered to baccalaureates, and so on. So these are the dashboards with the data that comes from the series submissions that Josh mentioned. But I wanted to show you quickly the DOL dashboard. That's the one that we recently released. That is called SUNY Grad Wages. I suggest, I don't have time to go over it, but it's very important for you to read the frequently asked questions and the methodology to understand what this data is and what it represents. In general terms, it's the wages data of our graduates, and it only includes the data of the students that are working in New York State, because our agreement is with the New York State Department of Labor. So here is the quick dashboard. So basically, it's here showing everything. But I wanted to, so for example, if someone, let's see an example, one of our more popular programs are nursing. So if someone is searching for registered nursing, you can search here. So you can filter here. So once you filter it, then it'll show you, okay, what are the median wages for registered nursing? And so it shows you 1 year after graduation, 2 years after graduation, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. And it also shows you here the different award levels. So we have registered nursing at the associates and at the baccalaureates. And here you can see the difference in number of graduates and in the median wages. And again, as in all the Tableau dashboards, they are fully interactive. So if you want to see, for example, just for the baccalaureates, you click here and it filters everything so that it shows just the baccalaureates. There's many more options here that I don't have time to go, but I encourage you to explore. The last thing that I wanted to show you is this one. So once you found the program that you want, you can click down here and say, click here to see the programs included. So here it lists all the different programs in nursing at the baccalaureate level. That is basically what we chose in the previous slide. I encourage you to go to this dashboard and read the FAQ and play around with it. And then finally, I'm going to really show you the last one that is selected IPEDS metrics for SUNY and benchmark institutions. And I said before, as I said at the beginning, this dashboard includes information from IPEDS. So it's not only SUNY, it's all the institutions that receive federal financial aid. So there is opportunities for you to compare your campus, not only with other SUNY campus, but with other institutions around the higher education institutions around the country. Again, I encourage you to read the introduction and the FAQ. There's very detailed information about how to interpret the data, how the calculations are made, where the data comes from, and you should look at it. But let's go quickly to the dashboard. So basically, the dashboard, and this might take a little, okay. So basically, the dashboard has different historical graphs that show how your institution compares to a benchmark historically. And what is the benchmark that is displayed? It depends on what you choose. So for example, here currently it's chosen Adirondack compared to all the institutions that are in the same Carnegie classification basis. And the same Carnegie classification of Adirondack is this one, as associates, college, high transfer, high traditional. So this is comparing Adirondack to all of these institutions, a group of these institutions. But you can filter, you can create the different benchmark groupings that you want. For example, in region, you can just select the ones in the region that you're interested in. So maybe you can just select the ones for, that are in the North Country, for example, for Adirondack. You can choose the ones by size and by control. Like this, the default is excluding the private non-for-profit, but you can include them. So basically, each of these charts shows different ratios that we thought were useful using information from IPEDS. For example, the student-to-faculty ratio, ratios of number of staff or students or full-time students, full-time equivalent students, graduation rates, expenses, so institutional expenses over total expenses, research expenses over total expenses. So yeah, so are all those different options. Or another thing, you can put map. So you can see all the institutions that are the benchmarks mapped. But the last thing that I wanted to show you is that here, like the standard is to compare it to the list of benchmarks. But also you say, oh, what if I just want to compare it to one institution? So there's a way to do that. So for doing that, you just click on your campus, the campus that has been selected, hold the control key in your keyboard, and select one by one any other institution that you want to compare with. So for example, you want to compare it with Broome, Adirondack to Broome. It pulls a lot of data, so that's why it's taking a little bit. Yeah. So there is basically comparing the blue line is Adirondack, the campus that you chose, while the gray one is Broome, which is the benchmark campus. This is a work in progress, so we expect to add more of the information from the different IPED surveys. So if there's anything at the end, we'll share our email. But if there's any types of ratios or information that you might be interested in seeing here, you can let us know, and we will see if there's a way to include it in future iterations of this dashboard. So that concludes with the part of the presentation of the dashboards. Let's go back to here.
Santiago, there was a question. Can you drill down some of the dashboards to focus only on online students?
Oh, that's, yeah. There's a different dashboard. Let me go quickly to that. There's some dashboards that they're not, the SUNY online office does it, not our office. Okay. But if you go in the fast facts, there's a set of online dashboards with information for. Let me go quickly show it so you can.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, online enrollment.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a series of dashboards that the people from SUNY Online created.
Right, and that's not just, there's Open SUNY, which is,
open.
Which is
and
SUNY Online, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's it's Open SUNY, and it has, it's basically what they have is information from the term section about, so seeing how many students are taking online courses, what the percentage of the courses that each student takes online, things like that. But yeah, you're right.
And some, but not all. So the blended students are also in the dashboards.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep, okay, great. Thank
you. So let's go to the finally. So to conclude, as you saw, SUNY administration and IR collects a lot of data. So we showed you some of the data, but there's many more data. There's a lot of data that's useful. So yeah, we hope that you can make more informed decisions with all this data. The data can help you monitor student success, whereas we saw we can help you benchmark against other institutions in the SUNY system or all across the country. And as you saw, most of the dashboards are very user-friendly, so it allows you to get information quickly and fast. But and generally all our employees have access to the dashboards that Josh mentioned. Everyone has access to the public dashboards that I mentioned. But what if you want to do like custom queries? Then you probably will have to go through the BI and contact your campus network to be able to attend the BI training. And I think Kelly might have more information about the BI trainings that are available.
Right, I put that in the link in the chat. I don't think we have anything currently listed, but I welcome anyone to email me if you want to be kept up to date. And then that page that you linked, I linked in the chat. That will be where the new dates will be. We just had some in October, so
Yeah,
should.
and all the trainings are conducted by Stuart. I've been to. They are great trainings. That's how and everyone here, I think, started to learn how to use the BI and create your custom queries. So that's our presentation. We welcome any questions that you have. We hope the data that we made available is useful for you on what you do at your campus.
Oh, wonderful! Yes. There's any other questions? I mean, that's a lot to digest, and I hope people were, I don't want to say playing along, but following along and clicking the links to Companion. I have a question while we're waiting for people to slide into the questions in the chat. Can the three of you tell me your favorite dashboard or section?
My favorite, this is Teresa, my favorite by far is the public SUNY grad wages. It's just so fun to use and play around with and see how things change and drill down right to the more detailed academic level to look within a certain broad disciplinary area to see the range across the programs within that area.
Great.
I like the metrics one, like the iPads.
Mm-hmm.
It actually combines data for all of the US institutions and many different surveys. So there's a lot of data in there available just by clicking. Yeah.
Great.
I would say I have two favorites. My primary area of focus is on completions and grad rates. So I spent a lot of time in the graduation rate dashboard, investigating different gaps in student achievement. So one of the things that we've been looking a lot at is different graduation rates for underrepresented minorities versus non-underrepresented minorities, and different graduation rates based on race, ethnicity. So I spent a lot of time in there. In an ideal world, we close those gaps as quickly as possible. The other dashboard that I spent a lot of time in and find very interesting is the educational outcomes dashboard. Within this dashboard, you get this, in particular, community colleges, not every student who attends a community college is looking to get a degree at that institution. Some students attend 1 year and their intention and their goal is to transfer to another institution and get the degree at the transfer institution. Well, this dashboard captures that. It captures whether the student got a degree not just within a SUNY, but if the student started at a SUNY community college and then transferred to a private institution or an out-of-state institution, whether that student got the degree within 3 years. So that's a really interesting dashboard. It is a little bit confusing, so it's important to pay attention to the directions and the instructions of that dashboard, but there's a lot of information there.
Great.
Paul, did you have a favorite you wanted to share?
Yeah, I have two. One is really the grad wages, and on occasion, in my spare time, I will tutor students, SUNY students, usually in statistics, and sometimes they're a little bit unsure of what they want to do when they graduate. Some are close to graduation, and so since this has been made public, I just put it in front of them. I'm like, hey, play around. If you want to see kind of what's in store in terms of at least your wages, take a look. And wages is a concern for many of the students because many of them have student loans, and so they do want to pursue a career that will pay them well, given their degree. So I really like putting that in front of them and just letting them play around with it. And then the other one I like, which wasn't shown, we do have one on average annual full-time equivalent students, which is something we get asked for all the time. The calculation for that used to be done manually in Excel, and it isn't a very difficult calculation, but it's one of those ones that you can very easily kind of get a formula wrong and mess it up. And since it is so important, it's wonderful to have that dashboard and have it automated, and I can have confidence that when I send that to either the budget office or a campus, I have pretty good confidence that that data is right and that campuses will get funded and billed properly depending on what it's used for. So that makes me very happy.
Great. There was a question, and I know part of the answer is talking about population data. So folks can check that out in the residence data. But also, do you use anything? Oh, you answered it already. Teresa answered in the chat, but they do work with census data. That was the question. So you use it for internal, but no external dashboards yet. Anything to add? Voice?
No, it's just, I mean, it's something we would be interested in. Paul is our guru.
We've been talking about a way to present that in a Tableau dashboard for a little while now. As you know, the census has so much data. Maybe I can kick it back to you and you can share, what elements from US Census or American Community Survey or current population survey, basically all those census kind of subsidiaries, what would be useful for you to see in conjunction with SUNY data? If you know, send it to ir@suny.edu, leave it in the chat. That will help you develop what you need, because we are in the process of discussing doing that actually this year. So.
Oh, that's great. Very timely.
Yeah, and beyond the dashboards, I wanted to mention Santiago showed a snapshot of our SUNY IR website, and it's not dashboards, but there are other really great tools out there that I think campuses would find useful, and they're the SUNY Excel's executive data summaries. It comes from an Access database that Josh maintains. Quick facts on every campus in the system. It's really handy resource. And then there's also economic overview reports that we get from JobsEQ. And they are really interesting. They're provided by New York State overall and then by each region of the state. So with especially your enrollment management, your strategic planning, they're just interesting to look at. There's a lot of good information in them, and again, available to the public. So easy access, user friendly.
Oh, awesome. This has been great. I'm putting the links in there now to the chat so people can check them out. If I could spell economic right, we'd be all set. Okay, good. It's wonderful. So we've got a few more minutes of probably time for one more question if we have one, but I'm sure folks are probably looking at the website, checking everything out now. I know I am.
The SUNY graduates, did you mention the report, Santiago, that was out there? Yeah, we're also trying to go beyond just providing data points and numbers and providing, written information to go with it. And so the first paper is posted out there on that suny.edu/grad-wages page, and it's the first in a series of reports that talks about post-completion wages, and this one is at the award level. The next one will be by discipline, and that's almost done. So we're trying to make them short enough so that they're digestible and easy to understand and interpret. So that's why we're doing them in small series, and then also to get information out there sooner than later, not waiting until some large 100-page report is completed.
Oh, that's wonderful. This has been so much information. I can't thank you enough for participating today. And like I mentioned before, this will be recorded. It is being recorded now, so we'll be sharing this next week. And also something I was remiss, not the most important, but interesting, is we are giving away some prize packs. So you don't have to do anything, but if you're randomly contacted next week, congratulations. Just as a thank you for participating. And I'm not sure what it'll contain yet, but it'll definitely contain a book at least to help you on your journey, professional development. So I guess thank you so much. Any parting words, team?
No, we just really hope that you find this useful and that you use it. And again, any suggestions or comments, send to ir@suny.edu. We genuinely love to hear what people think and what ideas they have and suggestions. So.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for participating. And perhaps we'll be back in the spring with a different subject from you all. But thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.